Welcome back to the channel. Just want to talk to you about a couple of items today. So I'm here at one of my projects that I'm running, and in the background I have one of our sort of classic boiler rooms, we call them, and it consists of a system boiler, we've got a pressurised water system, and we've got an underfloor heating rig going in. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the underfloor heating that we're doing here. So this is a refurb and extension. We've got a timber subfloor here, which is the same as what we've put on the new part of the extension. So we've found a solution for the underfloor heating, which is called Lopro. It's by a company called New Heat. And basically what it consists of is a 15mm cement-based board, which is pre-routed. Some of the boards have just got straight grooves and some have a returning turn. So the idea is, it's all mapped out to the plan, and to enable us to go in all different directions, we also use what we call a castellated panel. I'm going to take you through and show you a little bit of that. So the main area of this job was quite a big 12-metre wide extension all the way across the back of the house. So where you see the bulkheads behind me, that was the rear of the house. So we've got sort of 20 odd steels, some in the ground, pairs in the ceiling joined together, and then we've got others returning at 90 degrees which support the walls above in the existing dwelling, for example. So if you can see behind me, sorry about the sunlight, it's a bit tricky, it keeps coming in and out, burning out, but this is a pretty good position. So you've got the cement panels, you can see the pipes that are in there, and then you can see what we call the castellated panel, which is a little bit like a plastic sheet material, and the castellates are like little studs that stick up, and that allows you to put turns in where you may not have the room to do them with a board. So with any underfloor heating system, it's zoned. This particular one is in 3 zones, and within those zones there's separate loops. This runs on 4 actuators in fact, this particular system. And so if I move forward, you can get a better picture of the whole of the back of it. So it's a really nice, clean product. The build-up is 15mm. We're going to be tiling over this. And although the supplier says you can use a flexible tile adhesive straight over the top, we're also going to use a slip membrane, a slip sort of type coupling, Detromat, which is a trade name, that's the one we're going to use. And that gets bonded down first with flexible tile adhesive, flattens everything off, and then over the top we go with our tile. So with the castellated panel, to enable us to glue the Detromat down, we have to put a self-leveling material in there, and it's supplied by New Heat. It's good from 3 to 30mm. In our case, we're between sort of 10 and 15mm, so to the top of the board. It's mixed up with water, 25 kilo bags, so it's good to work the gauge out. So in our case, we've got 4.5 litres of water going with this, and to enable us to do that simply, the first thing we do is measure out 4.5 litres into a clean bucket, and what I then do is I drill a hole through the side of the bucket at that point. So every time you just fill it up, put it to one side, it drains itself down to the level you need it, and you know exactly without having to keep looking and leveling the water. So that just speeds things up. We're then using 2 clean mixing buckets, so we've always got a gauge going on, and a paddle on a battery drill, which is absolutely adequate now. So I'm using an 18-volt battery drill on low speed, so a combi type drill, and that enables us to keep mixing. So one guy mixing, I'll be coming in doing the pour. Now it's really important with any sort of self-leveling material that you've blocked all the little gaps and cracks up, because it will start running away and it will just keep going, and the last thing you want to do is run out of material. So if I just walk to this end, now the sun's gone down, I can probably get a better shot from corner to corner. So it's about 70 square metres this area, and it goes into one other area, and a little bit for the carpentry fans out there, or people who love carpentry. So with alterations, you often have existing external walls which become internal walls, and where there's a doorway, for example, to go between the old area and the new area, you end up with a really wide door lining. So in tradition, years ago, what we used to do was make something called a skeleton lining. Now, I actually do that here as well. So what that consists of is, instead of trying to find a piece of board the width of the wall, in our case it's about 310mm, I get a standard door lining, and I use that. Then I get another standard door lining, and I rip it down in half. So where the door hangs, I'll just try and get a shot of this. Where the door hangs, you can see we've got the full lining, and on the opposite side we have the half lining. But I make it all up as one, so when we make our structural opening we allow an extra 40mm. That enables me to back it up with sections of plywood, so we can make the whole lining parallel on the floor, square it all up like you'd do a normal lining, stand it in the opening, and what's really nice is you can actually fix through these pattresses that actually hold the lining together. So you've got less face fixing actually in the lining. The other good thing about this is if you use wide softwood, all timber, even though it's kind of like the moisture is fairly stable, will take on a little bit of moisture through the build and it will shrink back. And then after time with the central heating, it will shrink back even more. And how that manifests itself is where the architrave goes over between the plaster and the lining. Obviously the plaster is never going to shrink back, but the lining will shrink in its sort of width, if you like, and then you get the cracking. So it is quite normal, and after a year you'd go around, recork it, rub it down, recork it, paint it, so it's quite normal. But this does reduce that shrinkage quite a lot. And then you might think, well, what are you going to do with the doorstop? So a skeleton lining, the way that you make it, what looks really lovely is you hang your door, and then if you're using an internal door, so like a sort of 38mm door, you run a MDF stop all the way across and set it back the thickness of the door. So when the door's open, you've got equal rebate both sides. It really, really looks nice, it really looks substantial. And then when you actually frame it with the architrave both sides, boom, that's a fantastic finish. So we've got about 15 bags of, so about 300 kilos or more of self-leveling to do. It's going to take us a couple of hours. So we're going to get on with that now. I'm just going to take you out front just to show you where we're at with that. So we got a decent 18-volt combi drill. We've got one of these fancy new paddle mixers, which is it's got a flexible head on it. So when it's in the bucket and you can press it down, it actually gets right to the bottom in one hit. So here we go, clean buckets, and we're ready to rock. So thanks ever so much for joining me. Check back soon. I had an interesting week, went over to see Milwaukee, and over at Skill Builder we're going to be doing a lot of stuff about that and their 18-volt range and the 12-volt range, mainly all about the cordless job site. It was really interesting, so we'll bring you some of that in the coming weeks over on Skill Builder. In the meantime, thanks very much for watching. Check back soon.